Your beatitude, sechereto me adelphiki agapi ento anastemeno kyrio, si efaristo cartentermi su hypodoxy. I recall with gratitude your visit to Rome 3 years ago and the choice that today we meet again in your beloved homeland. Through you, I greet the Holy Synod and all the priests, deacons, monks, nuns, and lay faithful of the Church of Cyprus. Before all else, I wish to express my gratitude for the hospitality with the Church of Cyprus are generously referred to the Joint International Commission for Theological Dialogue on the occasion of its meeting last year in Paphos. I am likewise grateful for the support that the Church of Cyprus, through the clarity and openness of her contributions, has always given to the work of the dialogue. May the Holy Spirit guide and confirm this great ecclesial undertaking, which aims at restoring full and visible communion between the churches of East and West, a communion to be lived in fidelity to the Gospel and the Apostolic tradition, esteem for the legitimate traditions of East and West, and openness to the diversity of gifts by which the Spirit builds up the Church in unity, holiness, and peace. The spirit of fraternity and communion also found expression in the generous contribution which your Beatitude sent in the name of the Church of Cyprus for those suffering from last year's earthquake in Aquila near Rome, whose needs are close to my heart. In that same spirit, I now join you in praying that all the inhabitants of Cyprus, with God's help, will find the wisdom and strength needed to work together for just settlement of issues remaining to be resolved, to strive for peace and reconciliation, and to build for future generations a society distinguished by respect for the rights of all, including the inalienable rights to freedom of conscience and freedom of worship. Cyprus is traditionally considered a part of the Holy Land, and the situation of continuing conflict in the Middle East must be a source of concern to all Christ's followers. No one can remain indifferent to the need to support in every way possible the Christians of the troubled region, so that its ancient churches can live in peace and flourish. The Christian communities of Cyprus can find a most fruitful area for ecumenical cooperation in praying and working together for peace, reconciliation, stability in the lands blessed by the earthly presence of the Prince of Peace. With these sentiments, your Beatitude, I thank you once more for your fraternal welcome, and I assure you of my prayers for you and for all the clergy and faithful of the Church of Cyprus. Iaraka Irini, to anastimenu Christu, as ine panto de merciso.
Ο Πάτερ Δημήτριος για την ξενάγηση. Πάτερ Δημήτρη, έλα εδώ μπροστά.
The Cathedral of St. John the Theologian was founded in 1662 by the Archbishop Nicosia. The wall painting started from 1736 until 1750, when Archbishop of Cyprus was Philotheos by an unknown wall painter. Probably the issues of the wall paintings were selected by Philotheos. The most important wall painting, we could say, that is the wall painting of crucifixion, where the painter combines harmoniously the age that Christ was crossed with the age that painter lived. We should say that the age that the temple's walls were painted is the age of Ottoman domination. In the scene of the crucifixion, we see the Pharisee being dressed with Turkish costumes, Also, we can see that some Roman soldiers are dressed with Turkish military uniform of that age. Probably the painter painted there the Turkish political and military leaders of that age, giving at the same time a message. The message was that in the place of Christ were the Greek Cypriots that suffered daily from the Turkish occupation. Another important wall painting is beside the throne, Archbishop's throne, where is the concession of the three imperial privileges in the Archbishop Anthemios of Cyprus from the Byzantine Emperor Zenon, when Anthemios delivered to the Emperor Zenon the handwritten Gospel of Apostle Matthew, proving that the Church of Cyprus is apostolic. The iconostasis is wooden and was sculptured at about 1744. In the same year, the iconostasis was covered with gold with a technique called epichrysosi and finished in 1756. At the iconostasis, we can see sculptured scenes from the Old Testament, like the hospitality of Abraham, Adam and Eve in paradise, and King David. The icons of Christ, of the Virgin Mary, and Saint Ioannis the Prodromos that we see today are made by a famous icon painter from Crete, Ioannis Kornaros, who arrived in Cyprus after being invited by Archbishop Chrysanthos of Cyprus. The apostles in the above string course of iconostasis are also a work of Kornaros. The remaining picture of iconostasis are the work of the worthy student of Kornaros, Hieromonachos Hierotheos. If we look carefully at the picture of Christ and Virgin Mary, we will see that on their clothes exist painted scenes from their lives. Another important portable picture in our temple is that of Saint Ioannis, theologian, that is under the amphonas, and today you can see a copy of it. This picture is made in Venice in 1672 from a famous icon painter from that time with the name Theodoros Poulakis, and was dedicated in the temple by some Cypriot tradesman, Georgios Vrahimi, who lived in Venice.